All right, listen, as you know, Memorial Day is fast approaching, and I'm getting ready to head to KDK Radio tonight. We've got a very important guest in the 9 o'clock hour, Lieutenant Colonel John Pippy, who, by the way, will join me tomorrow night. We're going to be at the American Legion Post 580 in Monaca. John Marchand and I have been exchanging text messages. You know, Shewalk Distributing, they do a great job. His sister Marianne, I love that place. We're going to be there tomorrow night filming a number of videos that you're going to be seeing over the next couple of days. So very honored to have truly one of my heroes, John Pippy, joining me on the radio tonight and tomorrow at the American Legion Post 580. Also, a gentleman was just in here getting his hair cut from Mark Eichler. We're at George's Old Fashioned Barbershop in Vanport, who happens to work for Vic Stahl at the Beaver Cemetery. And you know, because of the Diagardi family and Rome Monument, I have such respect for what they've been able to do at that incredible place. And it's a wonderful place to stop by and pay tribute to veterans, especially this weekend. And it's a good idea if you can get to your local cemetery and do the same thing. I think once you step aside a grave of a veteran and that flag is whipping in the wind, you will understand the significance of those who have made the ultimate sacrifice. You know, we talk a lot about the Army and the Marines and the Navy, and of course, let's face it, folks, the Air Force, right? Bob Garvin, my good friend from Beaver, Pennsylvania, a proud veteran of the Air Force, as so many of my friends, including George Johnson, Ted Arnaud. These are people that I've been around my whole life who have taught me about the United States Air Force. But you know, one of the things that I've never really taken time in the decades that I've been talking about veterans, either on the radio or television or these videos, is the Coast Guard. You know, the United States Coast Guard is a branch of the United States Armed Forces and one of the country's 7 uniformed services. The Coast Guard is a maritime military multi-mission service, unique among the U.S. military branches for having a maritime law enforcement mission with jurisdiction in both domestic and international waters, and a federal regulatory agency mission as part of its mission set in operation under the U.S. Department of Homeland Security during peacetime, and can be transferred to the U.S. Department of Navy by the President at any time or by the U.S. Congress during times of war. This has happened twice, in 1917 during World War I, and then 1941 during World War II. Young man that I absolutely love and had a lot of respect for, because he is truly an artist with a pair of scissors, but he's also a proud veteran of the U.S. Coast Guard, Mark Eichler. So we're going to talk about his experience and maybe give some of you young people the thought process of maybe following in his footsteps, because it's a part of his life that he really cherishes, and we're going to take a little time to talk to him about it right now. So tell me about being in the United States Coast Guard, what it did for you.
Well, I joined in 1998. I was about a year out of high school. It's kind of funny because a buddy of mine, we were getting ready to go into the Marine Corps, and we were sitting on the couch watching Baywatch, and watched that Coast Guard helicopter go by, and we kind of looked at each other, ran up to our parents, and kind of asked about it. So went up to the went up to the Coast Guard recruiter, and he's not like your traditional recruiter. They have a big area of responsibility, so he just pretty much asked us if we took our ASVAB, said no, and he kind of dismissed us until we did. And then we really didn't want to go like real quick, so he asked us if we were ready. We took our ASVAB, did well. Like 3 weeks later, we shipped out, went into basic training, and the rest is history. But it was.
So where were you most of the time? Station?
I was my first duty station, which I was really upset about, but it turned out to be one of my favorites, was St. Louis, Missouri, on the Coast Guard cutter Cheyenne, which is it's AIDS navigation. We set buoys, set the channels because of all the barge traffic that goes through there, and we also because of the way the water fluctuates, we were gone all the time. After that, I went to Training Center Yorktown for a damage control school, and then I was signed to the Coast Guard cutter Seneca out of Boston, which we did AIDS navigation, search and rescue, and counter narcotics and immigration. That was probably one of my favorite units because of.
To this day, still one of the best memories of your life?
Absolutely, without a doubt. I mean, one of the biggest things and memories I miss is just being out in the middle of the ocean. You know, it was a very structured environment, which is always good for me, but there was just nothing like it. The people you meet, just, you know, you picking up 300 Haitians at a time doing immigration, and you see these people, it gives you a new perspective. It makes you objective about a lot of things, and it changes your opinion whenever you see these people that are just trying to get a better life, and they're trying to better themselves and what they put themselves and their family through. I mean, you know, as a parent, it really hits home.